Nerdy For, the podcast where I, Amy Brown, ask interesting and funny people what they're nerdy for. Today, I have a special treat. I have an old friend who's here in my costume chamber. His name is Gus Horn.
Hello, everybody.
Hello, Gus Horn. And Gus and I met when we did a comedy class 7 years ago at Laughing Skull Lounge. And we've both been doing comedy ever since. And you are a nuclear engineer. So
Yes.
That's been fun because my husband's an atomic physicist. I tell that to everybody I meet because it's the coolest thing about me is my husband. And you have been on all these adventures and you just got back to the United States, and I'm so glad you could come over and chat with me.
Yeah, I'm excited to be here. Thanks for inviting me. It's always nice to come to the nice part of town.
Yeah, welcome to the nice part, the right side of the tracks. Well, it's definitely the more uptight side of the tracks and this more leaf blower side of the tracks, which is driving me crazy. Anyway, okay, I want to find out all about your adventures because you moved to Austria and then you were opening up doing stand-up comedy for some famous people. Can you dish? Can you dish about it?
Yeah.
Can you tell me?
Yeah, so...
I'm so excited.
Well, first, the biggest one was Russell Peters.
Russell Peters. Oh, and I should also say that you grew up in Brazil. You're born in the United States, but you grew up in Brazil.
Yeah, my parents are Brazilian. I grew up there until I was 12. Then we moved to Georgia for 2 years. Then back to Brazil for 2 years. And we went to Illinois for like 6 years. That's where I went to high school and college. And then I came down here for grad school. And that's when we met during...
You were in grad school when we met?
Yeah, I was halfway through grad school, yeah. And
nice. Okay. How many languages do you speak?
English and Portuguese and a little bit of Spanish. Like I get by in Spanish.
Did you do German in Austria?
No, I learned enough to like order a beer.
Well, that's what you need to do. That's the important one. Can you ask where the bathroom is?
I was gonna say, is it a lot of like international workers that you're working with in Austria?
Yeah, so I was working, I guess I can say it now because I don't work there anymore. I was working at like a UN agency. So basically
a UN agency?
Yeah, so basically everyone I worked with was international. So like in my team of like 15 people, there was like one person who spoke German. So I didn't even bother trying to learn it.
That's really cool.
Yeah, he can suck it, that one person. Or she can. Can I ask what you did in the UN?
Yeah, so my title was decommissioning engineer for so when a power plant shuts down, they have to do the project to make sure it's demolished properly. So
there's no kablooies.
Yeah.
Or off-gassing, radiation.
Yeah.
Use the fancy words. What are the fancy words?
Well, you don't want any
no glow in the dark.
Yeah, any radioactive material to be left over.
Radioactive material left over.
Yeah.
No standing too close to the microwave.
I don't know about that one. I watched the lasagna grow around until it beeps. So
yeah, you're not supposed. I spent my entire childhood watching bagels in the microwave, and I can't spell or have a memory now. So you do the math. Did you? So that's kind of exciting to kind of make places clean and safe.
Yeah, but my job is kind of boring because we're mostly like coordinating between countries that wanted to collaborate together for projects.
Okay.
So I wasn't doing any engineering or any
you're just
science.
Talking to people.
I was like helping run meetings and run like papers and stuff, but now...
So you turned into a diplomat.
A little bit, kind of, yeah.
How long were you in grad school for?
2 years.
Oh, okay. So it wasn't like 7 years and then you turned into a diplomat.
No, I just did my master's. I quit before the PhD.
You quit before the PhD. Fair enough. It takes a long... My husband's PhD took 7 years.
Yeah, now I'm hopefully retired. I don't know.
Are you retired? How much money did you make working for the UN that you're retired now? Oh, wait. Are you going to start doing stand-up comedy full time?
That's the dream, yeah, the goal, yeah. But
before we talk about that, can I ask you a quick question? Yeah. Sorry, I'm interrupting you. I had a lot of coffee. What do you do with is it plutonium? What do you do with the radioactive reactor stuff when you're done using it? Is it all pooped out and so it's no longer dangerous, or
it's still radioactive for a long time. So in the U.S., what we do is we usually put it what's called a dry cask storage. So it's a giant concrete structure that you put what's called spent fuel in there, and it just right now there's no long-term solution, so it just sits in a parking lot basically for.
It sits in where's the parking lot?
Usually right next to the power plants, yeah. So there's proposals of having like a centralized location so that everybody can ship their waste there.
Right.
But
I would imagine you want to have it in the middle of the country so the ocean, like they don't have what happened in Japan where the tsunami got all sassy.
Yeah. The most famous one is called Yucca Mountain. It's in Nevada, but they never approved it to happen actually.
Oh.
So they were going to build a giant hole under Yucca Mountain and just bury it under there. And then there's like right now proposals, the company I used to work for before in the U.S., they're trying to get licensed to have one in New Mexico. Just like
New Mexico's already glowing in the dark from all of the aliens and all of the bombs they exploded in World War II.
Yeah.
Like, Area 51 would make a great place for that.
Yeah. It's already active.
Yeah. Full of conspiracy theories already. So
what's okay? This isn't. We're not even talking about comedy, but what is the thing like the gagameter? Like, what's the thing that you see if something has radiation?
Oh, Geiger.
A Geiger counter.
Yeah.
I had a friend who went to Chernobyl for a dinner party, and
why?
Long story, but afterwards they had like
the Applebee's was busy. So.
Yeah, you
That's
just kind of want to have a crazy life. And they had to like brush her hair afterwards, and then make sure to get the like whatever radioactiveness out of it, and like you have to go into a clean room and stuff, so you don't take home your glow in the dark.
That's so outrageous just to go to a dinner.
I know.
I don't know the details. I know that people do go like tour there and like just to see what it's like.
Yeah.
And it's as far as I know, like it's not like as long as you're like for a couple hours and it's not dangerous or anything. But.
Real quick policy question, Mr. Ambassador. So I've heard that actually nuclear power is a clean power, and it's like maybe the best way to have power for this many people, even though afterwards we have big cement balls of no. What is your take on that?
I agree. I think it's not funny, but yeah, I think it's a good source of energy. I think it's definitely more reliable than like solar and wind and stuff like that.
What about the one where you drill into the earth and then the temperature change makes a steam turbine?
Oh, geothermal?
Geothermal. I'm so smart today.
You're saying so many big words.
Well, I'm leading the witness to taste. He has the words in his head, and I have the descriptions like a child.
I think nuclear is much more scalable, like more for like geothermal is like okay, but you can't really use it for large amounts of people, I don't think.
Is it possible to drill so many holes into the core of the earth that we accidentally cool off the core of our earth?
I don't know. Probably
what if
not.
we used up all of our core?
Ooh. That's a good science fiction book there.
There's a movie I think called the China Syndrome, where the nuclear reactor melts down and basically goes to China, I think.
Oh, into the core.
Yeah, but like basically it's all wrong, but it like goes to the center of the earth.
There's not a lot of accuracy. That's weird.
Pops out to on the other side. Yeah.
There's always a part in these like movies where they're going into black holes and stuff, and my husband's like, and now the science is over. Like they start off good, and then they have to get a little crazy so the plot can go faster. Right? Okay. Okay, so that was okay. You do believe that we should have nuclear power and just pile up our little cement bundles until the end of days, which is coming soon. So it's not, I mean, it's not forever. Don't worry about it.
So that's like the thing in the U.S. is that we don't have a final solution for the nuclear waste, but there are technical solutions. Like
there are technical solutions.
You can recycle it. It's called reprocessing.
What do you do with it?
It goes through a chemical process that basically can use the energy again.
Oh, really?
Because when you take it out, you've only used, if I remember correctly, about 10% of the actual energy that's within the fuel. But it's
we should use the rest of that 90.
Oh my God!
So the current reactors we have they're not efficient enough to extract that other 90. But you can either have new reactors that use that same fuel, or you can reprocess the fuel itself and reuse it again.
That's fascinating. Is it expensive to get it out? This is like what's that one where they dig into the where they've already gotten the coal fracking? Is this fracking but for nuclear fracking? You can have that. Why don't you call the UN and tell them they got a new name for it?
I'll be on Shark Tank next Friday.
Nuclear fracking. Yeah, you heard it here first, everybody.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know comparable. I don't know if it's price-wise, I don't know how it works, but like I know for like France, Japan, all those countries, they reprocess their.
They reprocess it.
fuel.
Yeah, they're better at recycling than we are too. So that makes sense. That's fascinating. It's only 10%. And then, okay, real quick. I'm sorry I'm asking so many questions about this, but the energy you're getting is in the splitting of an ion. Is that accurate? It's like the reaction's happening, but you're holding it steady so you can suck
Amy's
off.
just trying to remember all the stuff her husband has told her right now. That is what this is.
Yeah, basically, well, you have what's called a fissionable material. Like
fissionable?
Yeah, so like usually uranium-235, and you hit it with a neutron. It splits into.
Do you have to accelerate your neutron in the accelerator before you smash it into it? Or is it just like, boop? Is it a button?
No, it depends on the reactor's type, design, but usually in the U.S. we have what's called light water reactors.
Light water, like light and water.
No, light
And
water.
fire and...
In terms of, it's just like H2O, because there are heavy water reactors, which I think are H3O. So you use heavy water.
Okay.
So that one you can use. This is not funny at all, but that one you can use natural uranium. You don't have to enrich it. But then you have to enrich the water. And in the U.S. we use natural water, but then we have to enrich the uranium.
Okay. I remember, is it enriched uranium in Back to the Future? Is that what he steals from the terrorists?
I don't know that
to
I've
make
watched that.
time travel.
Plutonium. Wait.
It was plutonium, wasn't it? Okay. That's fascinating. Okay.
But yeah, that's the thing. Like with like when they talk about Iran deal on the news and stuff, like they're trying to have the ability to, because in order to make a nuclear weapon, you need like 95% enriched uranium.
Okay.
And in order to make a power plant, you need like 5%. So
It's much different.
yeah,
How do you enrich uranium?
basically, I think you turn.
You send it to private school.
You play the lottery with
Oh my God.
No, basically you turn it into a gas, and then you put it in a centrifuge. It spins really quickly, and then like the heavier particles go to one side, and the lighter particles go to the other side, and then what you end up with is like more enriched uranium.
So you get a lot of uranium and you wing it around until just there's a little bit of the good stuff.
Yeah.
Didn't like Madame Curie find the glow in the dark thing, uranium?
I should know this. I know. I mean, I forget what she's responsible
I remember
for.
I watched a black and white movie about her, and like her and her husband were like boiling down coal or something over and over until it finally they're like there was nothing in the bowl, and they were like, oh, there's nothing, and they came back later that night and the bowl was glowing.
Yeah, it was radium, polonium, and treatments for cancer.
Right. That's what she invented. Okay, so she discovered it. And then, so then she dies of cancer because, I don't know, she was manhandling
Yeah, she was just around all these radioactive things that did not know.
Right? And
There's
then her daughter went into the science. She dies of cancer. Her daughter marries a guy. He's also a scientist. He takes the Curie name because it's like not branded as being a good scientist. He dies from cancer. And she told her daughter she didn't want her to go into science. She's like, this is killing me. And the daughter's like, I still want to do it, mama. That's not, she said something in German probably, or French. I don't know.
I was like, are they Southern? I didn't know
I
this.
think she was Polish, but
That was perfect Polish.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
there's a story of the radium girls. There's a watch company that they would use radium, which is a radioactive material, which they didn't know, to like paint the
Yes.
dials on the watches. And so they would lick the brush and then put it on the paint and then paint and then lick it again. And they all got cancer from licking radioactive material over and over.
Well, that's
over
good.
and over again. Yeah. Although the Matchbox girls, they got, you know about those too? There was something nasty in the thing that starts the matches, and they all were dying. Oh, gotta love progress.
So it's a slow, deadly ride to the top.
It is. And then, this sounds terrible. I'm seeking comfort now that I don't have to stay on the earth forever because there's so much recycling that needs to happen. And I'm doing my best. This is as close to being spiritual or like religious as every day when I recycle. I'm like, please, God, may this not end up in the river.
Well, I have bad news.
Oh, God. Do you work for the recycling people, too?
No, but I looked into this. I think most of the plastic that we put in recycle, it's not
Recyclable.
money-wise worth to recycle. So there are poor countries that are like, hey, if you pay us X, we'll take it. And then they ship it to like, I want to say Indonesia, but I'm not sure. But like those countries. And then they just dump it in the ocean
Just
after.
dump it in the ocean.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Oh, yeah,
fish.
yeah, that's great. That's great to hear.
The poor mermaids.
I just say let's just burn it to the ground and then enjoy
Burn
it while
to the
we're
ground.
having it.
I know, right? Okay. Let's talk about unless there's anything else you want. So you were living in Austria for 2 years. Let's just paint the picture. You lived in Austria for 2 years. You came back for how long?
So I did an internship there from mid 2018 to mid 2019.
Okay, so like a year.
Yeah. Then I came back
And then you got hired for a real job.
Yeah, I worked in Philly, Jersey area for almost 2 years, and then the pandemic started. That job kind of got bad, and then I quit, and then I was chilling for a few months, and then I got hired in the UN again. So
Nice.
So I was there from basically beginning of 2022 to end of 2020.
Okay, and you're doing comedy in Austria. They have they say American stand-up comedies.
Yeah, they,
Just flawless accents
American
left and right.
not with that
Style.
accent usually, but
American. I don't know how to do a
No.
German. Nein. Meine Sachen. American stand-up comedies in the style of.
well, it's funny enough. One of the last shows I did there, some kid who I don't think he even produced a show before, but he was like, "Come do the Kevin Hart comedy show."
Oh,
And then like the flyer,
throwing names out.
the flyer said, "Do you like Kevin Hart and his jokes? Come watch this show."
Was there any black people on the show?
It was me, another Brazilian guy, and a Romanian guy.
No black people.
No.
Do you like Kevin Hart? Come see all these white guys
It
from
was
Brazil.
so
It
ridiculous.
was terrible. It was
love that.
terrible. It was terrible.
Well, he's promoting. Maybe his first time promoting. There's only so much lying you can do.
Well, you just gotta let people know, like that's what stand up is. Kevin Hart, will he be here? Why? We didn't say that. We didn't say featuring Kevin Hart.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. I mean, I was just agreeing to do any show at that point. I was like trying to get over the breakup, and
Are you had a breakup?
yeah,
Oh.
like 2 months ago. Yeah,
Oh, baby. Oh, I'm sorry, buddy.
It's
I'm
all right.
sorry. At least you loved. It's better to love and lose. No, you're not there yet. It's okay. I'll get you a drink after this.
Anyways, I was just saying yes to any show that I got invited on, and I did this show. It was fucking terrible. Like,
Well, yeah. At least you're not sitting home.
the whole show, he was like, 3 people, you guys each do 45 minutes. Or
Oh,
like, or-
wow.
No, sorry. We each do 15 minutes, which is 45 total. I'm like, all right.
Yeah, that's good. Did
He didn't book a host. He didn't host. So basically, the whole show was 45 minutes. It was weird as hell.
Well, he probably. This was in Austria.
Yeah.
He didn't. He hasn't. There's
Yeah,
so
that's
many.
such a weird.
I've told like you can't go. You can like go to Europe if you're an American doing stand up comedy because we just have so many shows here. We get way more time on stage, and so when you go to Europe, you can do a good job. Did you feel that way?
It really depends on the city. Vienna is like a growing scene. It's when I got there first time.
That's in Austria.
Yeah, so that's where I,
I
live.
was
Vienna.
making sure you knew.
Yeah, it is the capital of Austria. I know that because I lived there for 3 years total.
Yeah.
But so when I got there in 2018, like I was lucky if I could get 2 shows a week. Like usually it was 1 show a week. And now when I left, we could get up every day and sometimes twice a day.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a boom. It's
Yeah,
happening.
that's great.
This is one of our. Well, I don't know where stand-up comedy was invented. I'm gonna guess the United States. With
I mean,
jazz
Some
together.
people say Mark Twain was the first comedian. I don't know,
Oh, really?
or Lenny Bruce. I don't
So
know.
it's getting shipped around the world. Okay, so Vienna is a good place to go.
Yeah, but like Europe, the main ones are London, but that's like outside of mainland
Oh,
Europe.
I hear they're very good. I feel like London has got a really good scene.
Yeah. And there's
British people are so funny.
There's a lot of people there live in London and they make a living just doing spots in town, kind
They
of like
get
New
paid
York.
enough.
Yeah.
Wow.
Outside of
Wait, paid like they make a living, but are they gonna
yeah,
afford me?
I don't know.
I'm so expensive.
I know.
These are all fake teeth.
That's why she wants to tour Europe. She wants that good health care.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like,
Well, they have terrible teeth though.
so probably they're not making that much money. Yeah.
I need my American dentist.
But what was I saying?
The different
So London's
cities.
good, but
Yeah.
outside of UK, like Berlin is probably the main one
I want to
for
do
English.
Berlin.
And then Barcelona is good, Amsterdam and surrounding cities in Holland.
Barcelona. And
Barcelona. Barcelona is good for spots, but not in audiences, but not great for making money. Holland is probably, and like Berlin is probably where you can get paid more for spots and stuff.
What did you find like when you're in these multicultural zones? Was your English enough? Were your references Like, did you have to adjust? You have a great joke about, real quick, you're not supposed to do people's jokes to their faces, but I don't care. You said like something, you were in an interview, what are your future goals? And you're like, to do cocaine off of a prostitute, like, off a stripper.
Well,
Do it. You do it.
Well, the joke, I still do it, but it's like I'm not good at job interviews. I'm a bit too honest. Apparently, snorting cocaine off a stripper's ass is not the appropriate response to where do you see yourself in 5 years. That one works usually most everywhere,
Yeah. So you did that at my little show at the Basement Theater, and one man lost his mind, and he
got an email from it.
Loved
like 3 years
that
later.
joke. Yes, he loved that joke, and I still go to dance class with his wife, and we talk about that joke to this day. This is what's great about a good joke. 5 years ago, you put that into the world, and it's still reaping benefits.
Yeah.
So did you have to like change your material?
If it's very specific stuff, like I had a joke, I think we did when we took that class together. It was about Pan Express being my favorite Mexican restaurant. I tried when I got there. They don't have they don't have Mexicans or Pan Express over there, so it was like flat.
Oh yeah.
And so, but then also goes reverse. Like I had a joke that I did there about Ryanair, which is like the shitty airline.
Oh yeah.
So now I'm here. I'm doing like Spirit Airlines, just substituting the name.
Right.
Because the experience is kind of the same.
Right. So I guess they have cheap discount airlines.
That makes
the
you
dollar
question
store
your self-worth. Yeah.
Of airlines. I have never ridden on Spirit. Have you?
One time, it's kind of funny.
Was it to get material?
No, I was flying back.
It's so awful. It's the worst experience ever.
Yeah, but it's like Delta is like $250 and Spirit is like $14. And I'm like, okay,
Right.
I'll give it a try. This one time I flew it like before when I went to check in, they offered me to take first class for $10 extra.
Oh.
And I was like, sure. And
Yeah.
It's not first class service, but it's first class seat right on the front of the plane. So like I'm a big guy, so I was like, let me get a little extra room.
Yeah.
So I was sitting inside, and there was like a lot, people were backing up to get in, and there was like a mom with like a little kid, and the mom was holding like a giant Starbucks cup that's probably cost like $8-9 at the airport.
Yeah.
And she leaned over to the kid and was like, "One day we're gonna fly up here, son."
Oh my God. It was $10. You just don't buy the Starbucks.
Do they only have like the front row of Spirit is like first class, or do they have multiple?
Maybe 2 or 3, I guess. It's like a regular old. I think
They're terrifying. They're like buses in the sky.
Yeah.
And I know that's what people think planes are, but this is like how well a bus is put together and in the sky.
Yeah, I don't even like a buffet. I can't do these discount airlines. I don't like scarcity. I don't like people like with wide eyes. Just like, do I have a seat? Is there going to be enough of the cannolis for me? I just want everyone's needs to be met and to be calm energy and chillaxing.
I've never seen a plane with cannolis in it, but
I just, that was the buffet. That was the buffet
okay,
reference.
okay.
Yeah.
I was just like, Amy's talked about her flights before. She lives in a world I do not understand, so there might be cannolis up there. I've never been.
You don't have there's like the plain cannoli. No, it's a Biscoff. You get a Biscoff.
yeah.
Biscoff or bust. I love Delta. Delta forever.
I stopped flying Spirit just because I legitimately thought I was going to die every single time I was in one.
If you're a nervous flyer, why would you times 2 that by going on the one that you think is going to fall
One time I
apart?
flew Allegiant. Have you heard of that?
A Legion?
They never fly like the big airports. They're just like smaller airports. And so,
A regional.
Yeah, but like we flew from Orlando to Illinois when I was living in Illinois, and it was sketchy. And then like a year later, there was like a 60 Minutes piece on how bad their safety record was.
Oh God! No, that's awful. Oh, that's terrifying. I feel like. Have you done like the small planes where there's a boy flying the plane who can't even grow a beard yet, and he's like, "Everyone ready?" But like, there's no door or anything.
I've never done the tiny ones, but definitely the ones that are like. I'm pretty sure one time they had to like rearrange people so the weight would be.
The weight would be good.
Yeah.
I saw on TikTok that some person like smuggled like a small plane. Someone smuggled a alligator on. And it fell out of the bag, and everyone panicked and ran to the front of the plane, and then the plane crashed because everyone was in the front of the plane, and it couldn't.
Why do you smuggle an alligator? What does he need an alligator
Well,
for?
Florida.
Oh, fair
Yeah.
enough. Okay, I didn't know that was Florida.
We don't like to ask these kinds of questions of Americans. So, did you do a lot of Florida? Does Europe know what Florida is and how much we tease it? Because I was in Berlin and I was in Barcelona. I was talking to a guy who was from the UK, and he's like, "What's a redneck?" And I'm like, "It's like an alligator with a job." And he was like, what?
It's a pretty
So-
apt description, though.
Did they know about Florida? Did they know about rednecks? Did you crap on Americans to make it funny? Because they love that, I hear.
Excuse me. Not really. To me, that's kind of like the hack position to take. So
Oh, yes.
most of the Americans there are like doing jokes about escaping and stuff, and I'm like, I try to take like the other.
Yes.
Opposite
a
view,
fresher
actually.
view. Yeah.
But overall, they have a good general understanding of American culture and rednecks.
We
and stuff
export
like
it
that.
in our movies.
Yeah, and even like there were times where I would, if I wanted to make an American reference that it wasn't a given that they would know, I would make a joke like explaining it, but like giving a little joke.
Put it
with
in the
Yeah.
premise. That's smart. Yeah, explain things. I do that when I have like history jokes and stuff, just
Yeah.
in case everyone doesn't know about all the constitutional amendments or whatever I'm talking about. Prohibition, all my nerdy jokes. Talk about how did Russell Peters find you?
So
And then tell me about it.
So actually, I mean,
Or did you find him?
he was the first comic I ever saw at a comedy club, which was at the Punchline 10 years ago.
Okay.
And I had found out about him. I was first starting to find out about comedians and comedy and stuff. And I found out about him. I was like binge watching his stuff, and I'm like, oh, let me go see when he's gonna, perform somewhere. And then just out of pure coincidence, he was gonna be in Atlanta the next day.
Oh my gosh.
And the only non-sold out show was a Thursday one. So I asked my dad if he wanted to go, and we went. And it
How
was
old were you?
10 years ago, so 21.
A little baby.
yeah. But
And then you opened for him like in Austria or in.
So I became a fan. I was following him for years, and I went to see him like 2 or 3 other times in the U.S. And then when he announced his European tour, I bought tickets first day they came out, and then I was just one day, and I was actually in Brazil. It was September, so the tour was gonna be in October, so a month and a half before. And he posted on Instagram saying, "Hey, I'm gonna come to Europe. I'm not bringing an opener. I'm gonna be looking for the best guy in every city. So
Ooh.
yeah, submit your stuff." So you went on his website,
Ooh.
pull all your information, send a video, right? And then
Is he clean?
as far as what SCDs.
How does his wiener look? Was it patchy?
It tasted weird. No, no, he.
That was part of the interview process.
No, his comedy's not clean. No.
Oh, okay, so you could be dirty. At
yeah,
the
yeah.
Opening. Okay.
Yeah. So I had this video. It wasn't that great of a set, but it was the best film video I had at the time. It was like a 15-minute video, and so I sent that, and I didn't hear anything for a few weeks, and I figured the show was like a week after, it was like a week before the show. I still hadn't heard anything, so I was like, I figured they found someone else. Then I got a call out of nowhere with a Canadian number. I figured it was spam because what Canadian number would call me, right?
Yeah.
And then I asked her, I was like, oh, fuck.
Well, you are in the UN. Maybe it was the president of Canada.
Right before I clicked denied, I was like, oh, Russell is from Canada.
Oh.
So I pick up the phone, and it's like this guy with same voice as Russell Peters, but not Russell Peters. It's his brother.
His brother is his manager.
Yeah, Clayton. So they were like, hey, guys, we got your video. We liked your stuff. They were like, do you want to open the show in Berlin? I'm like, yeah, sure, of course. But I live in Vienna. They're like, oh, okay, we found someone else for Vienna, but can you do Berlin? I'm like, yeah, of course. So I don't know how they got it mixed up, because in the form I put it that I lived in Vienna.
Wow.
So the Vienna show was like a week later. I went to that to watch.
Did one of your colleagues in the scene get it?
Reginald Bear is open for him there. And then they flew me out to Berlin for a couple days later, and then I did Berlin for some, I don't know why, the mix-up. There's plenty of good comedians in Berlin that could have done it, but thankfully they chose me. And it went. I mean, I was pretty nervous in the beginning. It's such a different experience. It was like
How many people were there?
I think the Berlin one was like 1,400.
1,400 people.
Yeah, and it's
That's
like
wild.
this.
I get excited when there's more than 12.
Yeah.
Like, oh, this is gonna be a good one.
But you think it's weird because, well, first of all, a lot of people going to comedy shows in Europe, like big comedy shows, is their first time ever going to a comedy show. So they don't know to expect an opener. So they see this guy coming on stage, like, who the hell is this? Right?
Yeah. Do you tell them like?
I didn't know that. So I went there.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I started doing my set. I didn't figure. I should have introduced myself better. But anyways.
Was there a host, or were you the host?
I was the only opener. So
okay.
His brother, Clayton, introduced me on the God mic off stage.
Yes.
And then I went up, I think 20 minutes was my set, yeah. Mm-hmm. And it took me a few minutes to realize that the laughter, it was happening, but it sounded very far away because it was displays that had like, I don't know, like 50-foot ceilings, and
Oh, yeah.
people were like way, just one row, like not one row, but like one floor of seats.
You've got good timing too. Like I feel like you give your jokes room. So
Yeah. But
that's good.
it's kind of like, because
For
when
that
you're doing
venue.
a small room, if you can hear people laughing at your face, right? But if there's like people like literally like 300 feet away, the time it takes for the laughter to get to you, it takes a while. So at this time, at first you feel like you're bombing, and then it takes a while to get the laughter to you.
Did you have to slow down even more, or were you just like, I'm just going to talk over the laughs?
I just power through, and well, not. I mean, I don't know, slowing down. Like, it was just like, if I could hear them laughing, but it felt distant. It felt like they were far away. And also, there's 1,200 people there, 1,400 people, but you can only see the first row or so.
Okay.
Because the rest is all dark from the lights hitting my face.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So I'm seeing like 50 people maybe, but I know there's like 1,400 in there.
In there.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
all that was a little getting used to. Yeah.
So was there 2 shows?
One show there.
Just one show. Okay.
And then, I mean, it went okay. I felt like there were some jokes I wish I could have done a little bit better, but they liked it, and it was cool to hang out with them after the show and everything. And I went home, and I was like, still like cloud 9, and I was like, oh,
What
that
an
was
adventure.
Yeah, it was like highlight of my career. I hope one day I get to do that again. And then, so that first show was on a Sunday. The next Friday, they asked me if I could do the Stockholm show,
Ooh.
which was the following week.
Okay. I have family in Sweden. What's it like I want to do comedy in Stockholm? What was that like?
So that one, I was.
Do you have to wait for them to translate in their head a sec?
Sometimes. I mean, if it's like a smaller town, usually their English isn't as proficient as like Stockholm, Berlin. I think those cities are more. People are more
Working for jobs that are bilingual.
Yeah, but I mean, it's kind of hard for me to tell what's doing comedy in Sweden is like, because it was like a very international audience. But the Stockholm show, I felt much more prepared, because I felt like, oh, let me go there, introduce who I am, and say I'm an opener. I'm gonna bring up Russo in a few minutes, but let me just warm you guys up. So,
I'm the fluffer.
yeah, basically, yeah.
That's a porn thing.
So
Mom.
as far as like confidence in delivery, my set was better on the second one. The thing is, just like today, my throat was kind of way worse than it was today.
Oh.
But it was about to give out, and I was so worried that
You're gonna lose your face on stage.
Which is funny, because at some points the microphone cut off, and
Oh my God.
yeah, and it was like my voice was fine, like it held up, but the microphone went off a couple of times during the set. And then even Russell's tech guy was like, "Oh man, I'm so glad it happened during your set and not Russell." So I'm like, I guess I was the guinea pig.
Yeah. Well, you're not the one paying the bills. Oh man. Okay, so you did Stockholm. That's really cool.
Yeah, and that one, I think that one, I was much more.
They pay out for everything.
Yeah, I mean, I lost money because I took someone with me, and I shouldn't have.
Oh, well, because the person, you didn't have time for them.
No, you just never mind.
Oh, sorry. I
No,
won't stick my foot in it.
No, it's fine. I was kind of seeing this one person, and it wasn't like a relationship, but like I took her with me, and then I ended up spending more money on her trip than what they pay me and whatnot. And then we just stopped seeing each other after a few months after that. So
Yeah, a waste of investment.
but it's fine. It's fine.
Yeah. Well, that sounds very exciting.
Yeah.
So do you have like a relationship with Russell? Do you text him pictures? Like, is this rash look okay, man? Or
No.
I don't know how men communicate.
Is that how you communicate with your friends?
Oh, 90% nipples in pictures.
I don't know why I asked that. Like I didn't know what the answer was going to be.
I mean, I send him my nipples once every while.
Yeah.
But no.
You gotta keep them.
No.
You gotta give him a giggle.
Well, when he was, so I came to the U.S. in April last year, and he was doing the Comedy Mothership in Austin.
Oh yes.
So I happened to be going
This
to
is
Austin
Joe Rogan's new
a comedy club. Yeah.
comedy club in Austin, Texas, is the Mothership.
Yeah, so I wanted to go to Austin just to see what the scene is like, because I heard it's like crazy right now. So, and then they announced Russell was going to be there, so I hung out with him a couple of days there, and that's when he took me to the green room, and that's when I met Joe Rogan and
You got to meet Joe Rogan.
yeah, Joey Diaz and all.
Yeah,
those
you
guys.
always have pictures with famous people on your Instagram.
I mean, if I take him, I'll post him.
Yeah, you gotta post it. You gotta post and tag and hashtag and invite a collaborator and so That's really cool. And there's a bunch of pictures of you with Bert Kreischer.
Yeah, because before he was huge, I would go to his shows and he would just take pictures of the people after the show.
Okay.
And yeah.
He just did the Punchline. He's doing a bunch of
Yeah,
comedy clubs.
I went there to the Late Show.
I was at the early show.
Yeah.
We just missed each other.
Yeah, past guest Catherine Blanford's been opening for him, and then went on his cruise.
Yeah.
Yeah,
the
it's
fully
crazy.
loaded cruise or tour. I love that comedy's turning into a small town. I like.
What do you mean?
Like we're all starting to get to know everybody.
Oh yeah.
It's really lovely. So do you miss? Are you gonna stay in the United States? Do you miss doing comedy in Europe? Or you're like, oh, good to be back. I need to have my pharmacy open 24 hours a day because I need my ointments. What do you? That's my thought.
All of the above. I do miss it there because, especially like open mics, was usually an actual show, not just like.
Oh, you had
comics.
real people in the audience, so you can see if your jokes worked or not.
Yeah, and they were like way better organized. Like you would sign up ahead of time, so you would know if you would have a spot and what order you were in. So, and they would put like 8 to 10 people in an open mic, so they would give you like 8 minutes with an actual crowd.
Lovely.
Yeah, so
that's like a showcase show.
Yeah, so in that sense, you don't get paid, but in that sense, at least you get to work out your material in front of which is better than most mics here, which is comics on their phone in the back of the room and. You're trying to make the waitress left or something. So.
Yes, or the girlfriend or the boyfriend that came.
Yeah.
There's a real person there. Let me see if they laugh at this.
Yeah. At the same time, I'm excited to be back because I think like the ceiling here is much higher than there.
Were you the top performer in Austria?
I wouldn't say that. There were guys that were making a living doing comedy there. I mean, traveling a lot to other countries to do it. But I mean, there's one guy, the guy that opened for Russell there, Reginald. He basically doesn't tour anymore. He just does a weekly show in Vienna and makes a living doing comedy there.
How much? Wow. Does he like charge a lot of money for the tickets?
I don't know exactly, but
does his dad own the restaurant they have it in?
No.
So he just have to pay the
Wild
venue
to be able to just do one show a week.
They don't have to
but
pay
I mean,
for health insurance.
If you charge like $20 and you get 100 people there, that's $2,000 a week. And then you gotta pay taxes. But if you do that 4 times a week, 4 times a month, then
Okay, yeah.
I'm just roughly spitballing numbers here.
Yeah.
I don't know. But
Spitballing.
yeah. So I'm planning a tour at the end of the year of Europe. Yeah, so I'm gonna be there for like 3 months.
When?
October through January, I think.
Wow. Are you gonna be away for Christmas? Do you
I
hate
think
your
so.
parents?
No, I love them,
Okay.
but we're spending time together right now. So
That's enough. No.
Yeah. Christmas in now.
now they came to her for Christmas in Vienna this last
Christmas in Vienna.
Yeah.
Oh, that sounds like a Hallmark movie
It was nice.
that I want to watch. Does Beethoven's ghost come into play? I want to, and you fall in love with Beethoven's ghost, and then he writes Christmas music on his harpsichord, and his harpsichord is his wiener.
Classic Hallmark movie right there.
Coming on this December.
Coming to this stuff, yeah. Did you go see? Did you get to see like a lot of classical music while you're in Vienna?
Not
Oh my God,
really.
your face was like, ugh.
No, like I mean, maybe I should have. I went to tour the opera, but like during the day just to see what it's like. But my mom went to a couple of concerts. In the
I feel like
opera.
they have concerts there all the time.
Yeah.
I stopped in for a weekend one time, and it was all concerts, all the advertisements.
Yeah.
Like,
Especially during Christmas time. Yeah, there's like a lot
was
of.
there a Lulu village, like a
What?
German village?
Well, there are Christmas markets everywhere.
Christmas markets.
Yeah,
Yes, they have one here in Atlanta. It's the Christa Kringle Market, and yes, it's. Have you
Yeah,
seen?
I mean,
I've never seen this.
I made a video about it, and I put it on Instagram.
I remember you showing me this last year because we were talking about Christmas stuff. Okay.
Yes, it's so fun.
The idea of them are cool, but then like to me they're a little underwhelming. Like
What do you want? Because you want more
'Cause it's
strippers and blow.
No,
There's not enough strippers and blow at Christmas.
no, everything is overpriced. Like they're like, oh, this handmade mug. It's like looks like shit, but it costs €45. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna go to the store and buy one for $5 instead.
Well, it's part of the like experience, and you're supposed to be drunk on that wine,
Hot wine, yeah.
glog,
Yeah.
glug.
Hot wine?
It's
Yeah, they make
yes.
That sounds
What's it?
that sounds so
it's
bad.
red wine.
I don't like it, but
and
they love it.
And spices.
Yeah, they put like cinnamon and stuff.
And it's in a mug, and you're like, oh, I'm gonna meet a prince. And he's going to love that. Talk like this. Hi, Prince.
Yeah.
Oh, lick my boots, Prince. He's like, no one's ever talked to me like this. Come over here. I'm going to lick your boots. That's how princes talk.
Yeah, that happened a couple of times.
It happened a couple times. They have a lot of fire at these things. They have torches and...
I think that's a different thing, I think.
Oh, maybe that's the ones in Sweden. They've got a lot of Viking torches.
Maybe, yeah.
Okay. You're going back. You're going to tour Europe doing stand-up. Are you going to pop up on other shows? You're going to try to sell tickets and make money? What are you trying to do?
So I'm going to do...
You're looking for hot puss.
If there's any coming, I'm not going to reject it.
Right? Where do people submit their applications?
Are you calling it the Hot Puss Tour?
The hot puss tour.
Or however you say that. And,
You should do what Russell Peters did and just put a little advertisement on Instagram and be like, submit your tape to be...
Yeah, I was going to say, get a tape. So let me see. I'll be in all these towns. I want the best of the best.
I need an opener and then I'll help you close. I mean, finish.
Well, I'm any town that I've made a bunch of contacts over the last 2 years, like meeting people.
Yeah.
So any town that has like a promoter, I'm hitting them up to see if I can do their show.
Yeah.
And
Do they pay you?
So yeah. And then other places I'm trying to like self-produce shows. Especially in Austria, I know how to do those. So basically, you just book a venue and run ads on Instagram, and people are like, "Oh, I don't know this comedian, but it's a comedy show that happens once every."
They want to go.
Not many options.
It's it's not a
so-
saturated market.
Yeah. So right now I have like Czech Republic, Austria, Slovakia, Holland, Luxembourg, Germany, I think Sweden, and
Luxembourg has a royal family.
they all do, I think.
Oh, sorry. I saw a YouTube video and I got excited. Luxembourg, Germany,
Sweden. What's the one next to
Norway,
Norway? Yeah.
Finland, Denmark.
I think Denmark and Norway, no Finland. And then I'm looking to Spain and Portugal and maybe France.
Nice. What an adventure.
Yeah.
Are you going to stay in youth hostels? How far are you taking this? Are you going to stay in hotels?
It's gonna depend on how much money I'm making that night. Like,
Oh,
Yeah.
you're going to put
it's like there's some spots that are like in Luxembourg, they're giving me a room and they're giving me like 300 to do the show.
nice.
So that I just
In Amsterdam, do you get a prostitute and some weed?
no, I don't think that's
Ooh,
not in
I
the
mean-
contract.
that's in like the
You
welcome
could
basket.
fulfill that lifelong dream.
Yes, you can. Wait, I don't know if cocaine is
No,
legal there.
I feel like you can still find it.
Yeah.
Do you think
In
so?
Amsterdam.
How do you even get illegal drugs?
You go to comedy shows, you find
Yeah,
out,
you go to comedy shows and you ask comics.
talk to the other comedians.
Oh, I heard if you want cocaine, you
You whispered it.
you go to a kitchen, a professional kitchen.
Oh, for sure. 100%. Yeah, you
Because
can.
they have to stay on it for
Mm-hmm.
very long periods of time.
I don't know. I've never tried it, so I don't know.
Me
But,
neither.
Yeah.
You probably can't get it to work for the UN too. Did you have clearance with the UN?
No, I never. No, I didn't have to get drug tested or anything. Of course, it was against the rules to do anything. So, but when I worked in the U.S., I had drug tested every once in a while. Yeah.
Ah.
I feel like that's pretty good, though, if you're working with,
Yeah.
the reactors and things that have to be buried in cement to make sure that we're not going in a little
Kablooies.
loopy.
Yeah, you don't want someone coming down off of Molly making decisions about kablooey products.
Yeah. I mean, there were instances where like security guards were like.
Product.
No, there was like a security guard at a power plant. Was drinking the night before his shift.
Oh God.
Didn't get sober in time. Went to work and got caught. Got fired. And it's a big issue. Yeah.
They're drinking. People drink a lot in Europe, especially the
No, I
UK.
meant here.
Oh, here.
Yeah.
People drink in the United States. I thought everyone was a woman.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna find out what kind of nerd you are. But this, to put a bow on it, do you recommend to comedians that they go abroad and try to do a little toury tour, or
Yeah.
or
I
do you
mean,
like go on vacation for a vacation and then maybe try to get on shows? Like what?
I mean, I think if
is
you're-
the wagon or the horse or the first. The
if you're
cart or
not
the
a
horse?
name, like if you don't have a following here, it's gonna be hard to sell tickets in the place where you go there to make money. But if you if you go on vacation and you want to like have a couple fun spots, then that definitely is something I would look into.
Are you trying to get more followers so you can sell tickets?
I mean, yeah, of course. But
You should put some bikini pictures on there.
I don't want to get banned. So.
That's how and then that's when you start asking for those videos of the best.
Yeah.
Say, this is what you get when I come to town.
I'm going to be getting the wrong type of videos then, I think, if I'm in a bikini.
I think it would turn some eyes. Isn't that what Stavros,
Yeah, he got banned, I think. But
did he get banned for doing too many nudie pictures of himself and his he's like a cherub-shaped man, so people were enjoying it. All right, well, we're going to find out what kind of nerd you are.
Yeah, but then just to finish, after Russell, I got the opportunity to do with Nikki Glaser.
Nikki Glaser?
Oh, damn.
In Europe?
TJ Miller, yeah. Her was in Vienna. TJ Miller was in Estonia.
TJ Miller. Okay, tell us about these
wild.
people. Were they nice? TJ Miller looks fun. He
Yeah,
looks like
he was really
his
nice.
brain's
And
always
I just
thinking.
worked with him in Raleigh like 3 weeks ago again.
Oh, so you reached out to them and the feature for you to feature them. That's in the United States. That's so cool.
Yeah.
Do they pay for you to travel, or you just?
He did, yeah. He was nice. The club only paid me like $50 a show. It was the MC, but he was like, "I'll cover your."
So that was
hotel
a host spot.
Yeah, but he was like, "I'll cover your hotel and your gas." So yeah, it was
Wow,
nice. Yeah.
to host. That's
Yeah, he was
very
really nice.
polite.
Yeah, he was really cool. Nikki Glaser, she was nice, but I just messaged her on Instagram like, "Hey, I live here. If you need to open her," she's like, "I'll give you a guest spot," because she was traveling with her friend who's like a musician, comedian kind of thing.
That's cool.
So I barely talked to her for like just said hello and goodbye, but she was nice too.
That's lovely.
Yeah. Then also Sam Tallent, I opened for Sam Tallent. He was nice.
Sam Tallent's great.
Fun. Where was
fun.
that?
In Vienna, yeah. And my friend was producing the show, so it was like a small show, and not a lot of people showed up, but it was still amazing.
He's so funny.
He's amazing.
I'm supposed to host for him in North Carolina in August.
Nice.
I'm excited to
What is
meet
that?
him.
Is that Dead Crow?
Yeah, I'm going just to host because I'm so
I
excited to
helped
see him.
film one of Sam Tallent's albums.
You did?
Like one of the early ones he's filmed at Star Bar.
Oh, that's
Nice.
so cool.
Yeah, he's great. He used to come to Chattanooga a lot, and then like would always be in and out of Atlanta. He's hilarious though.
He's great. Yeah.
He's like very funny and actually genuinely just one of the nicest big teddy bear of a person ever.
Lovely. His wife is a doctor. I
Yeah.
think that's so cool.
It's funny because he was on the Are You Garbage podcast yesterday. And,
Yes, he was.
And he was talking about a bar in Bratislava, which is my friend's bar that he went to.
Oh,
And which is where I'm doing my show in October.
I know that guy. I know that. How did you get a hold of Nikki Glaser? Did Peter Russell like connect you guys?
I just DM her on Instagram.
You
and-
DM'd her.
Yeah.
Did you DM TJ Miller too?
No,
Did this
TJ
work?
Miller was the same opener or the same production company as Russell, so they reached out to me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You're
And then
in there.
I was supposed to do Eliza too, Schlesinger,
Yeah.
and in Budapest, and they were like, "Oh, can you send us a tape?" And I did, and it was like a killer tape. I've been sending that tape to everyone, and I've been getting booked a lot, and didn't hear back for like a month, and then I was like, "Hey, just planning my next few weeks. Am I going to do the show?" And they're like, she decided not to have an opener that show. I don't know why.
Oh. Maybe she wants to work on more material and have a longer set.
I mean, she had openers in every other show on the tour. So.
Ooh, ooh. This is very exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who's the TJ Miller manager person? Or are you not allowed to tell?
I don't know who his manager is. I mean, but it was like the production company in Europe. It's called.
That's what I was about to ask. Like, is it like a separate European company that's
Yeah.
putting all these shows and
Shoot,
productions
yeah.
on? Yeah.
Together.
It's called a Comic Soul. Is the name of the company, and so they basically book Americans to tour, or not only Americans, but like more famous comics who tour around Europe. Yeah.
Cool. Do they go and do like a mic check and all that stuff? Like when you're doing theaters,
Yeah.
it looks like it's a lot more work.
I think with Russell I didn't do it, but with TJ we did this Russian theater in
A Russian
Tallinn,
theater.
Estonia. Yeah, and it was a beautiful theater, and we did a mic check.
That's
But
fascinating.
it was like literally 20 seconds of like, hey, hello, welcome.
And then it was good. Did he do mostly crowd work?
No, it was kind of did a lot of local material because he spent a couple of days there beforehand.
Yeah.
So he like talked about it going around town and stuff, and then and a little bit of crowd work, I think.
That's cool. All right, let's find out what kind of nerd you are. But I have a feeling it's like I'm going to go off the top here. It's going to be a comedy and science nerd. But we're going to get deep in. This is going to be interesting because you've lived in the United States and in Brazil and in all these different places. Okay, Star Wars or Star Trek? Or Dune. We had to add Dune recently because people
Not
are
a fan of
frothing
any
at the
of
mouth.
those.
Damn.
Way to
I've
be
never
an
watched
outlier.
Star Trek at all. I've watched maybe 1 or 2 Star Wars. I liked Star Wars a little bit when I was young, when I was a kid, but
It didn't
grew
get
out
under
of
your
it,
skin.
for sure, yeah.
Okay. Have you ever been to like a Comic-Con or a Dragon Con?
nah, I always thought it was weird to see grown-ups
Dressed up?
Yeah.
Oh my. Okay. Ouch.
Wow.
Do you see that closet? That's all costumes, and so's that one. And
Can we
that,
cut back those last
I'm
20
happy,
seconds?
I'm happy we didn't start with that question
Yeah.
in the top of the hour.
that dresser's full of wigs and accessories.
Look, if you're having fun, go ahead. I don't mind. I'm just saying.
You're gonna yuck my yum.
I don't see
right
myself
here
doing
in
it.
my house.
He's not going to mind. He is going to judge you heavily, though.
You know what? I'm used to it.
We
Not
have
you, but
Halloween already.
general.
Isn't that enough?
Is that enough? Halloween is amateur hour. Okay, come on now. You've been to my birthday parties.
Yeah.
I make people dress up for that, and it's Christmas Eve.
True.
Have you ever framed a puzzle?
No, but my family has.
Okay, well, that's not necessarily you. Do you own a sword? Have you ever held a sword?
I've held one, but
Whose sword? What was it?
well, I had a Star Wars lightsaber blaster thing when I was a
someone
kid.
who doesn't like Star Wars has a lightsaber? Okay, I think...
Yeah, when I was 12, 13.
Get the lie detector equipment out, Joel. I'm sensing someone's wanting to be cool because he's on the open market, ladies. Pow, pow,
So,
pow.
But no, not big into swords. So.
Yeah.
Okay,
But
just
I've held one, I
lightsabers.
guess.
Do you have a clip-on tie?
No,
Good. Do you have a Death Star Lego?
no, haven't done Lego since I was
Little?
14, maybe.
Oh, you made it through at nuclear engineering at Georgia Tech, and there was not a Lego party?
No. I mean, I didn't become good friends with people around me because we were just.
You're so different.
They're all just dweebs.
I wanted to go do dick jokes at night, and they were like,
Yeah.
Same. I have the same problem, but in my garden club. We're approaching it from different angles. Did you ever do summer camp?
So when we first moved to America when I was 12, my parents, because we would know what summer camps, those weren't a thing in Brazil. Because summer in Brazil is at the end of the year, so it's usually around the holidays, so you're with family and stuff. So when we moved here, in the movies we would see summer camp stuff, right? So we got here and they registered us for a summer camp, but it was at this community center in Gwinnett. And it wasn't like a summer camp, more of like a daycare kind of thing. But I was 12, my brother was 10, and everyone else, all the other kids were 6 to 7 or 8.
Oh, you were the big
So they had us
boys.
doing spaghetti, plates and shit. And I went for one day, and I was like, it's not because my mom, she wasn't working, so it was she didn't need daycare,
Yeah.
you know?
She thought it'd be fun for you.
Yeah, so we
That's
went
rough.
for one day, and then we didn't
They
go
picked
there.
the wrong camp, bless
Yeah,
their
yeah,
hearts.
yeah.
You should have gone to, they have crazy ones now. They
Yeah.
have science camp and space camp. Do you have a NASA shirt?
No,
What?
no.
No NASA t-shirt. Okay. Have you ever written fan fiction?
Other than my jokes, not really.
Okay. Have you ever said huzzah? And have you ever gone to a Ren fair?
Once with my family because they took me, and I promised myself to never go again.
Never
I love
again.
how much you do not like whimsy.
No whimsy.
The least whimsical guest we've had, and maybe ever, if not just quite some time.
It's funny because today I was looking through my old Facebook, the memory stuff. And 4 years ago when COVID was starting, I made a joke I would actually say yes to a Renaissance Fair invitation right now because I was
That's
so
how sad you
lonely.
are.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you like Jeopardy?
I liked when in school they would do before a test they would play Jeopardy to review the material for the test. Oh. That was better than study hall or whatever. But I've never watched a full episode. No.
Okay. Do you like school supply shopping?
I did when I was in school, I guess.
Do you like Disney?
No.
I'm not surprised. This is this. Okay. Okay, Wednesday Addams. Do you like Wednesday Addams? Have you seen that on Netflix?
No.
What do you watch on television? Is
Sports.
it just
I
sports?
watch.
Sports?
I like crime stuff, like police investigation.
NCIS, LSD.
More
I don't know the letters.
Those are like too corny, but like the Netflix ones probably
Like
more.
murder,
Yeah.
like Jeffrey Dahmer,
Yeah,
that
yeah.
kind of stuff. Okay, so you like murder
And gangster stuff. Yeah.
and you like gangsters.
Peaky Blinders. I
No
love
whimsy.
Oh yeah, Peaky Blinders. There's a lot of you like sport. No whimsy. Sports.
Yeah.
It's quantitative. You like something that's quantitative.
that. And also like something that even if it's fiction, that could happen in real life more likely.
Okay, so no, like you only read nonfiction.
No, I like the Da Vinci Code, those books.
Okay.
Which also they're like fiction, but I guess I mean made up, but could happen in real life. I guess.
Yeah. Do you like historical novels?
I haven't read too many of those.
Okay.
I've been reading a lot of books.
Just
from-
all romance novels for you guys.
most comic, like not comic books, but like comedian books recently.
Okay. Do you read them or do you listen to them?
Both.
I like to listen to. Do yourself a favor and listen to the comedians read their own books because they're comedians and they're going to read it real well. Even especially David Sedaris's books are so
I
better
listened to
to
the Tom
to listen
Segura
to.
one not too long ago.
Yeah.
And then one of my favorite books ever is the Norm Macdonald one. I've read it a couple times, but last time I was listening and reading it at the same time.
Oh, that's fun. That's you know what I do that sometimes too to help me learn how to read better.
If I don't have the audio,
That works?
I read 2 words and then my mind starts associating something with that word, and then I have ADD, I guess.
Oh.
Never diagnosed, so I don't know. But.
Okay, here we're getting closer to. Were you ever into magic as a child?
I played Magic the Gathering for a little bit.
Okay,
There we go.
okay, yeah.
That's
do you,
a little bit
Magic the
nerdy.
Gathering. What's like the longest seating you've ever done for a board game or a video game? Like you ever done like an all nighter?
No, I'm not big into video games. Like, I've never played like I don't like video games where people get shot. Really, so
Do you have the VR headset?
no.
Do you watch a lot of porn? Because you're doing it wrong if you don't have the VR headset. I know what to get you for Christmas.
I'll take one. Yeah.
Okay, so Magic the Gathering.
But I wasn't huge. Like there were people that were. I just did it because other people were doing it, but it didn't last too long. But
Have you ever had a birthday party for a pet? Do you have a pet?
well, I got a puppy with my ex, and then we broke up 2 weeks later. So.
Oh.
That's rough, man.
Yeah.
That's and it's
So-
a pup. Oof.
I've never had a pet birthday, but I've been to a pet funeral.
Oh.
Because when we first started dating, her dog died 2 months later, and it was very, very sad. And but
This is dark.
No whimsy.
No whimsy.
I've never had a birthday for a pet, but I have gone to a burial of one.
in Vienna they have a pet cemetery, and
Oh.
they have like hamsters and parrots and
Was
cats
she
and dogs. And
Austrian?
she, born and raised in Austria, but her family was from Iran.
Okay. And you're wearing black right now too. Like it's a somber. It's a,
He's still in mourning.
He's still in mourning.
Yeah.
Either that or you're Amish.
Or I'm just wearing black. I don't know.
Or you're just wearing black. How many Amish people are in Brazil?
In Brazil, I don't know. When I lived in around Pennsylvania for a while, and one time I almost hit a Amish
Buggy?
Like they were like just in the road with no lights till like 12:30 at night.
Yes, I've heard it's a problem that they need to get lights, but it's not part of their religion. Do you have a tattoo?
No.
A piercing?
No. I almost got a tattoo a couple times, but never got one.
Like, what was happening? Were you drunk and with some friends? Or were
No.
you like, I've just been to a pet funeral and I need to mark this day?
No, I was first one I was in Amsterdam. No, I was in Rotterdam, which is close to Amsterdam, with the girl I was seeing before my ex, and we saw a tattoo parlor. Like, hey, let's get a tattoo, and then let's do it. And then we walked in, and the guy's like, "Oh, I'm all busy for today." I'm like, "Oh,
Oh, you missed, yeah. And then it goes away, the like joie de vivre of doing it.
Yeah,
Where'd you get a tramp stamp?
as a joke, maybe.
As a joke.
Yeah,
What would it say?
It's a forever joke right there.
What would you put on your tramp stamp? This is a great question.
knock twice or something.
Tell them Poopsie sent you. Not twice. Tramp stamp. Do you have a celebrity crush?
Probably.
Or is that too much whimsy?
No, I think I don't know. There's some from my childhood, like from my teenage years, Sofia Vergara.
Yeah, she's lovely.
She's so hot that people let her accent not be a problem, right?
It's charming.
Well,
Yeah.
if she looked halfway decent, like people are like, your accent is not bearable. Get out of here.
Right, you're right. Maybe not. Yeah, on like Hollywood's thing. Are you concerned about AI taking over?
No.
Do you have concerns?
Yeah.
He's a little robotic. Do you use ChatGPT?
I have, for writing like cover letters and applications for jobs and stuff.
Okay.
Because my English is good, but like it's not. There's a lot of words that I don't think of.
The creative writing, yeah. Do you have a pilot's license?
No. I bought a drone and I didn't use it for 3 years and I just sold it.
You just sold it. You had it like for a second. Like that looks like fun, and then you didn't.
Yeah.
They probably have like rules about drones in Europe.
Even here, like you gotta. There's areas where you can't fly. You can't fly.
Right. Do you have a perfect attendance award?
I missed maybe 10 days of school my whole life.
Your whole life, yeah.
So
Because that's what you go to school.
most years I was perfect attendance. Yeah.
That's lovely.
My mom, if I was sick, my mom was like, "All right, you're sick. You're going to school being sick then."
Suck it up. Do you do scuba diving?
Never have, no.
Do you ride a motorcycle or a moped?
I thought about learning, but never tried. No.
Have you ever ridden a unicycle? Skateboard?
Skateboard, I tried when I was a kid, never got.
Scooter?
I did scooter.
A motorized scooter?
No motorized, no.
Just a scooter? Have you done the one where you lean forward and you look like a weird tourist and it goes?
Oh,
You're talking about the Segway?
Segway? Have you segged?
Never done that.
You never segged down a way?
I feel like the risk reward isn't worth it.
I know, right? The guy who bought the company fell off a cliff on his Segway.
Yeah.
It's like skiing. I've never been skiing, and I feel like every time I meet someone who just came back from skiing, they have some injury.
I was just next to a mountain 2 weeks ago, and I was in the bar, and a lady came in the, what's that called? A wheelchair, and she had her leg extended out. She broke her tibia, and she still hadn't had it set yet, but she was going to have lunch and then go to the hospital
Ugh.
to have it set. And I was talking to the bartender. He's like, "Oh yeah, we see those all the time." And I was like, "How many times do you guys have the medevac help?" And they're like, "Oh, at least 3 times a week. People are helicoptered out of here."
That's crazy.
You're not going to get me skiing. I'm going to go down what I like doing. I'm going to go down falling off a bar stool. Yeah. All right. Have you ever owned or held a tropical bird?
Never owned. Don't think I've ever held. Like,
Okay. Have you ever held a ferret?
no.
Have you ever had a baseball card collection or Pokemon card? Any collections? You're a hard nut to crack.
So, Yu-Gi-Oh! But here's the thing: when I was a kid in Brazil, original Yu-Gi-Oh! Cards were really expensive. My mom didn't want to buy those.
Okay.
So I found these one in like this like fake stuff store. So my Yu-Gi-Oh! Card was like 50% bigger than everyone else's. It was ridiculous. Like cheap like Chinese copies, and they were ridiculous.
They were ridiculous. Did it make you feel bad, or you're like, fuck it?
At least I could play then. It felt better than not having them.
Not having any
Yeah.
at all. You could participate, but it's not like burned on your psyche.
No.
Like, I must make money and get
No.
the right kind of cards.
No.
That's very healthy of you.
Well, for me, it was more like clothing because I loved sneakers growing up, and also in Brazil they were like 4 times as expensive as they were here. So I'll get like 1 pair every year, but not the ones I wanted.
Oh.
So like when I started having jobs and realizing shoes are not that expensive, I was like,
Yeah.
I kind of.
How many shoes do you have? How many sneakers do you have now?
I have 4 that I haven't worn yet, and
They're on the shelf.
another like 5 in rotation, kind of. So.
Okay. They're in the boxes. Do you keep them in the boxes?
I like
that
having
come in?
I like having a couple new ones that if I have a big big
special
show or
occasion.
something, I'll pop up a new one. Yeah.
That's lovely. I can't do that as a woman because I don't know if the shoes are gonna shred my feet or not. I liked my old good shoes for anything that's scary and new. All right. I know you're the answer to this. Gus Horn, do you have a cape?
No.
Surprise.
No.
No whimsy.
Not at all.
Okay, my dear friend. Do you read Scientific America? Are you reading up on science at all? Okay.
I don't read much anymore.
You don't read much anymore. Are you just nonstop watching comedy specials, listening to podcasts from comedians, reading their...
I spend way too much time on Instagram just watching people clean carpets.
Oh, you buried the lead. Okay. You watch people clean carpets?
I don't know why that's in my feed, but yeah, they like. Have you seen them? They show up like these carpets that they look black, and then they start like washing away, and then
It
like
gets
pressure
really
washing, and then at the end they're like purple and blue and stuff.
Perfectly clean.
Yeah.
You like seeing a job well done.
Yeah.
And in a way, you're doing that by getting all of the no explosion material together into little cement cans and making sure that that's all cleaned up and
Yeah.
tidy too.
I guess you can tidy it up, yeah.
What kind of nerd do you think he is?
I mean, I think
Linear?
yeah, it's pretty straightforward. I mean,
Yeah.
you did go to school for like nuclear engineering, and you enjoy comedy.
Yeah. You're really focused. I think this is your lane and you're going in it.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like sometimes even subconsciously if I'm watching something that I like, I feel like I'm wasting time not focusing on comedy and stuff. So,
Right? I know. I should be writing a joke right now. I feel that all the time too.
yeah, and like so even if it's like right now if I find a series, it has to be like one season.
Not too many seasons. That's
Because if
gonna
it's
suck
like
you in.
4 seasons, I'm like I'm gonna waste a week watching this, and it's like a week I shouldn't have been. So.
You should be doing something else.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Like a focus nerd.
Yeah,
A focus
yeah,
comedy
yeah,
nerd.
yeah.
You're a comedy
Yeah,
nerd.
I think the thing I like talking most about is comedy and like even like
You need a
joke
girlfriend that
writing.
likes comedy.
yeah.
Hence I think you should do an advertisement. Don't be like,
This is where we're gonna be.
Yeah.
Submit your tapes.
Come
Submit
out,
your tape.
Bratislava.
I don't know. Don't make it creepy. Like, I guess you either make it all the way creepy
Mm-hmm.
or not creepy at all, and then see if you like them and they like you, and don't be like me tooing someone. But
No.
it'd be fun. You know what? Maybe that's exactly what dating apps are: is submitting tapes to try to get booked, but it's a picture
It's essentially
and a
yes.
profile.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not going great.
Oh, the heart, right? The heart is a tricky one, and when the heart's not happy, ain't nothing happy.
Yeah, but we'll get through it.
You'll get through it. I believe there's a lady out there who likes comedy and watching carpets get cleaned. You could clean her carpet. Hey,
Ooh, there we go.
I'll pressure
all right.
wash it, yeah.
Tell people where they can find you, and then I'll put your stuff in the.
I'm mostly active on Instagram, watching carpet cleaning and outdoor cooking videos. It's a Gus Horn Comic on Instagram.
Okay.
And I'm doing shows all around Atlanta this weekend. When does this come out?
Monday.
Yeah.
Okay, so this weekend I just performed at the City Winery, open for Rafi Bastos.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
great!
but,
Congratulations.
other than that, I'll be wherever people have me on their stage. I'll go everywhere. So
I know, me too. I will go anywhere to be a feature.
yeah. I mean, sometimes I get home after a show. I'm like, that was the worst time investment of my life.
Oh no, really?
I mean, between driving there and back, it's like an hour and a half, 2 hours for like 4 minutes of stage time with no one watching.
It's awful.
Yeah, that's rough. No, I like doing a feature. I like doing 2 shows a day, 5 like for 3 days, 2 days, 20 minutes each show. That's a lot of time on stage, and you can
Yeah.
actually move your jokes forward and figure out which ones to take out.
But if you know anybody in Europe, I'm going to be there from October through January in a bunch of countries. Probably going to announce all the dates in the next month or so. And so, yeah, just give me a follow and come see some jokes about Austrians.
I have a quick suggestion for you. You know how they have like posts where it's like all your dates? Just think about it. Do you in a bikini and then with all your dates next to you.
That's marketing right there.
That's marketing.
I'll take that into
And
account.
holding like a big stein of beer.
Can I use your pool for filming?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Your son's just be like, Mom, there's a man in the backyard.
I think my children are used to anything crazy
Yeah.
now. All right, thanks for coming on, buddy.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
It's good to see you. Aw.